Hello, Miss Kylene's Kinders. As you can tell, I have my very special friend with me tonight, Pete the cat, who I borrowed from our school library, and I'm going to be reading you a Pete the cat book tonight. We have been talking so much about community helpers these past 2 weeks, and while I was shopping, this book just caught my eye, and I was like, oh, I have to read it to you guys. It's Pete the Cat, Firefighter Pete. And it is by James Dean. So what does that mean whenever I say it is by James Dean? Who is he? What does he do? Also, you may be surprised, he is also the illustrator. What does the illustrator do? Pete the Cat, Firefighter Pete by James Dean. We are going on a class trip today, says Principal Nancy. She leads the class to a bright, oh, what's that word? Bus. Everyone climbs on board. I wonder where we are going, says Pete. They are going to visit the firehouse today. The bus parks next to the bright, what word is that? Firehouse. Pete, oh, is that a sight word? Can you tell me what it is? And his classmates are excited. The firehouse is huge. Why did I read it like that? What kind of punctuation is that? And what does that punctuation mark show? It's so big it can hold 2 long, there's that color word again. What is that? Fire trucks. There's the sight word. What is it? And all of the firefighters' equipment. Ring! The firefighters show the kids around. They give everyone a turn to ring the old brass fire bell outside the firehouse. Then all the kids take turns sliding down the firefighter's pole. Whee! Callie yells as she glides down. The firefighters allow the kids to try on their gear. Firefighters wear a lot of equipment. What is he about to put on? First, Pete puts on the heavy black overalls. Then he steps into the tall, there's a color word. What is it? Boots. Fighter helps Pete put on the heavy, another color word. What is that? Jacket. Finally, they place a hard, what color word? Helmet on Pete's head. All this gear is very heavy. Pete, sight word, can barely move. The firefighters allow the kids to explore one of the fire trucks. Callie sits in the driver's seat. She presses the horn. Brrr! It's so loud, all the kids cover their... What are they covering? Look in the picture. Ears. Then Pete turns on the sirens and lights. The sirens blare. Woo-ee, woo-ee. The lights flash. There's 2 color words and a sight word. Flash. Red and yellow. Suddenly, a loud bell rings in the firehouse. Uh-oh, it's the fire alarm. There's a fire in town. Gear up, Pete. The firefighters scramble into their gear very quickly. Pete puts on his gear too. They all climb aboard the fire truck and turn on the siren and lights. Firefighter Pete and the firefighters are on their way. Woo-ee, woo-ee. The fire engine races through town and the lights flash round and round. A firefighter presses the horn. Brrr. All the other cars move out of the way. Why do you think the cars moved out of the way for? There's the fire. It's hot and loud. But the firefighters know exactly what to do. They work together as a team to connect the fire truck to the fire hydrant. I see Pete helping. Do you? Then the firefighters also attach a long, heavy hose to the truck. Firefighter Pete gives the signal and the firefighters turn on the water. Whoosh! The water gushes out very fast. Several firefighters must hold the hose to control it. Pete helps direct the hose as they spray the fire with water. The fire is starting to go out. There is smoke everywhere. Suddenly, Pete hears yelling from the roof. Oh no, it's Grumpy Toad. He needs to be rescued. The firefighters raise a long ladder from the truck. Crank, crank, crank. The ladder goes up and up. I bet you can read this next part. Firefighter Pete and another firefighter help Grumpy Toad climb down the ladder carefully. Yay! The fire is out and everyone is safe. Way to go, Pete. The firefighters drive back to the firehouse. They take off all their gear. They pat Pete on the back and say, "Good job, Pete." Firefighter Pete helps save the day. Pete and I hope that you enjoyed that story about our community helpers, the firefighters, and everything that they do. I hope this weekend you'll take time to tell your grown-ups about all the community helpers that you've learned about this week. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Lots of love, Miss Kylene.